Yo, what is good, Circle family smoking on that Circle pack? It is another beautiful interview with your main sexy host, Leprum. Uh but today, if that's not about me today, right? I'm joined by the myth, the man, the dream, the legend,
No.
DreamVoyager. Say what's good, dog.
Mhm.
What is poppin', DreamVoyager? How are we doing today?
I'm doing very well.
Let's go, man. I'm excited for this because you are the man that single handedly killed me in my last circle, man, and I'll never forgive you. I
I'm
think.
so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I'm
that
gonna.
that was not meant to happen.
Dude, how do you feel about like doing this interview in the first place? You said you
I
were sorry.
Yeah, I didn't expect it, but it's great. I like it.
Let's go, because you said you were nervous speaking something that wasn't Spanish, and I come from like a Spanish speaking background, but I
Yeah,
can't speak Spanish for
I'm
shit,
from
man.
Argentina.
What'd you say?
I'm from Argentina,
Head-
so I don't speak
What do you
English.
What do you think about like the whole time zone debacle when it comes to the circles? They think like EST is held on a pedestal, and for the most part, that might even be true. I feel like, but how do you feel about having to adjust to speaking to everybody else and making sure you're always there to be in those vote discussions?
Well, for me, it's not really a problem because my time zone is only, I think, 1 hour away from EST.
Oh,
So I'm
oh,
I'm, I'm usually like online when everyone is.
I did not do my research. I apologize. Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah, I don't have any problem with that.
Do you think it's unfair for people that are like farther apart, like people from like Asia and Europe?
To some extent, yeah. I mean, if you are from Asia or from some other country that lives like too far away, it can be a bit unfair.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
it's like not much you can do. Like the majority of the the players are from one time zone, and it's yeah, it's silly, but you have to adapt as best as you can.
for sure, for sure. Me personally, like I hate Europeans. I hate Gubba Gamer. Oh one. Yeah, that dude sucks so much.
Yeah.
My fault. Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about you and the circle, man. What made you want to sign up for C14, which would be your first deep run into this org?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Okay. Like what made you want to sign up for C14? Because I remember I played a square with you and you were great, and I was happy you
Yeah,
signed up for C14.
yeah.
So
I knew about the circle for some time, and I've always wanted to play one cycle. And I don't know, didn't really have a chance until cycle 14. So I was really excited to play. I like, you know, I thought the twist could be fun, and then I was really excited to join the, for me, the biggest circle.
dubs for sure. Because I feel like most people recognize
Yeah,
this as like the main circle to go to, the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? And
right. Yeah,
yeah. What's up?
mm,
My fault. I thought I said something.
I know.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of like square players come in thinking like they got something to prove. Or like my main person I'm thinking of is the Legends B Brendan. Yeah, he came in off of that win. he
Yeah,
wanted he wanted to kill everybody in this circle, and that's it's a fun thing that this is like the most like prestigious thing out there, kind of for in terms of circles at least.
yeah, it is. It's like totally different from the square, which is still a great circle too. But coming from there, I don't know what I expected, but I don't know if it's the cast or the hosting, but so different in a good way.
For sure. In a dope ass way, man. I love this work.
Yeah.
Ask, we spent our entire time together on the same group. When you first when the cycle started, C14, who are you looking at to work with? Who are you scared of? Right? Who are you like wary of? Walk me through like your mindset, like the second the chat opens and the game starts.
I don't remember a lot about the original Capricorno, but I'm I'm looking at the cast.
For sure, for sure. Because I know there was people I was scared of when we first started.
Yeah, I mean, I knew some of the people there. Like I knew who were the big names, so I was a bit like wary of some people, but I didn't really feel threatened by anyone.
Dubs, hell yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to vibe, so I didn't really. In the beginning, I didn't really pay attention to any of that.
It's cool, it's cool. Okay, so then later in the game, right, we're setting up for this end game. A lot of people think Flaming just dog walked the entire end game, but what do you have to say to that, man? Because I feel like you were one of the people like at the end that were still playing. What would you have done differently to set you up for you to like potentially get farther?
Well, I did watch the Flaming interview about the end game, and I do agree that he really had like a lot of control over that last part. But me, I don't know what I would have done differently. I think, well, the round I died uh, because he flipped. I don't know how I would have changed that for to stay. It was also like a really bad moment for me. I was just getting out of college, so like I was just done with a class. I didn't have like a lot of time to really be in the chat.
Mm,
I was like very busy.
yeah. So unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate.
I would say, do you think how much time do you think you have to commit to the circle to be like actively on top of your shit and not get like screwed over like you just did? Because I feel like
Yeah,
recently there's been a big spike of activity. I think it's calmed down at least a tiny bit, but people are expecting to be online a lot, and it's kind of shitty. I'm gonna be real, but
yeah.
what how much time do you think you have to dedicate to this shit for it to not screw you over?
I know some previous cycles had like a really big number of messages, like people were like a lot, and I don't know. Sometimes I feel like people demand too much that you have to be online all the time, but I also have a life outside of the circle, and I think that should be considered.
Tell
So
you.
I would say as long as you can be every day in discussion and just you know the usual contribute and just like a daily consistent thing. It doesn't really matter if you're on like for 10 hours a day or 3 hours, but if you make the most out of the time you have, and if you really like try your best to be there, I think it's okay for me.
For sure. That's a good. I like that. I like the way you put it. What's some advice? Because you've played the two most recent cycles, and that's your experience with the circle. What would you give as advice as somebody that's made two deep runs? To somebody new playing, somebody coming in cycle 16 that they might watch this and be like, I'm trying to be like this guy. What advice would you give to that new player?
That's a big question. I don't know if I'm capable to answer that, but for me, I think the most important part is to know to know where you stand on like what you want to accomplish, what you want to do in the game, and just stay true to yourself. Like for me, I don't really see myself as the like big strategic guy. So I don't know what would be like a good advice for someone, but if you want to play like me, if you wanna be me, just it's just that like be yourself, try to make friends. Remember, this is just a game, but it's also more than a game. You know, you can meet really cool people. You just don't let like the game. I don't know how to say, but there's more to this than just the game and winning and a number. You know what I mean?
For sure, 100%. No, I'm down with that message for sure. I'm gonna say, okay, let's dive back into this game. So at the final 13 of cycle 14, you made the worst decision of your life because now I will haunt you forever. And you you got the solo vote for that round, and I don't even have anything to say. I just need to comment on this because I wouldn't forgive myself if I didn't. Man, that was
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I had no idea. If I had known like that I had that sort of power, which basically was like a second SSA, but without any of the disadvantages. I don't know. I'm trying to think. If I knew, would I have used it for my advantage? Would I have killed someone? I don't know.
Yeah, we would have killed Flaming. We would have killed Flaming. No, no, no.
Yeah, I guess flaming would be the most sense. But yeah, yeah, it's really funny. I remember. I think Bill said that he still sent like vote reminders to everyone, even though they couldn't vote. So it just made like everything more confusing.
That's so
It was
fucking. Bill, I
it was
hate you.
crazy.
What? That's so bad. That's so bad. Bill, if you're
Yeah,
watching, I'm gonna be at your front door in like 3 days, dog. Yeah, don't trip. Don't. I'm making threats on the podcast. That's crazy. That's insane. Okay. Well, C14, that was a mess. It was a beautiful mess, and
yeah, it was.
you
Yeah, I
were
think it was a good first experience, like a good first experience of the circle for me.
yeah, for sure. I feel like it was solid. I really liked it. Like the
Yeah.
twist of shout out Kesar for that. Yeah, no, it was solid. But look, we go into this next cycle, cycle 15. Blue barrel fire is the twist that's being used. How
Mm.
hard was that to navigate? Because I was looking through. I was spectating at the start, and it looked really confusing to me. I didn't get it. I don't know why. I'm not very smart. But how did you use this twist to help your game? Did it hurt your game? What was going on?
Well, I was really like excited about the twist since it was revealed, like blueberry fire. And at first, I think we were still a bit confused, like what's heat, what's radiation, are they available now? Is it? I remember at the beginning, like in the sphere, there was a message like our first twist is, and so I thought like there will be a second twist or something later, but yeah, I don't know. We figured out like pretty quick what radiation was. You know, there was like two groups and a list of players, and if you die, I think it was two players next to you to the player that dies. They all gained extra votes, so that was really quick. We figured that out pretty quickly. Lola made a sheet, so that part was easy. And then hit. I remember this is kind of funny. We experimented on one player to see what would happen when you overheated.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least for me, it was a great twist, but I just wish maybe, I don't know what else they could have done with it, but I just feel like it could, maybe it could have been explored a bit more in depth. I mean, it's still great. It was pretty fun, but especially the extra vote part, I don't think it affected the game as much as it could have if, I don't know, if it stayed until like final 3, maybe it will have more of an impact, maybe.
No, for sure. I like the twists that mess with like the cast a bit. Like the SSA. The SSA, I thought it was done pretty well. Flaming used like the fuck out of it. It was so fun. I mean, with this,
Oh yeah.
it was kind of just like it didn't affect it as much, I feel like, but it was still pretty cool. Okay, I wanted to bring this up at the start because at the start of C15, it was there was a lot going on, man. There's the brigade of pre gamers. There was DSO Creeper, all those other guys.
Lol.
What did you think about that? All they were blowing up the game at the start.
Yeah, I remember. I let me I wanna because I wrote something in my conf about that whole thing, and like, yeah, I think it was a bit like, I don't know if too harsh or, but it was like pretty easy to just like, what was it, round 2, round 3, to force someone to step, and like, like there's no other option. There, like, you are doomed already, and it was only like, I don't know, 1 hour. Like the run had just started, and he just did that. So I remember I didn't vote for this the next round, because while I thought that was totally like an awful thing to do, at the same time it's like, I like to think of us of cycles like they should be entertaining to spectators also, and maybe a person like this home could be more interesting to have, not for too much, but just to see what can happen. I don't know if that makes sense,
No,
but
no, I get it.
like,
Rush is crazy.
he totally should get backlash for what he did, but also like it's interesting to see someone who, like, this early in the game is already making these kind of moves, which can
Yeah.
be like really interesting to see and to work around.
Well, thankfully, they did not stay that long because everybody in the spectator chat was like hating on this man, and he deserved it because there was some
Oh
what
yeah,
they both said.
totally.
That was crazy. Okay, moving through this, a lot of people think the rookies in C15, like the cast, wasn't super up to par. What do you have to say about that? Do you think it made it easier, made it harder? Because there was a few people that everybody thought would make it to the end, and they did, and you were one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
What do you? Sorry, keep going.
Sorry, no.
What were you gonna say?
Oh no, yeah, I think the cast was maybe a bit weak. Like, it didn't help that there was so many steps. That definitely didn't help with the cycle in general. But yeah, I like, I'm trying to compare it to cycle 14, and maybe, yeah, it was a bit, I don't know if weaker, or if it's related to the steps. But for me personally, it did feel like a bit easier, maybe, but not too much.
For sure, because I know that end game was great, one of the best we've seen, and like,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you think makes a good circle cast? Because if this wasn't it, then what is? You know?
Uh, I don't think it's necessarily related to like experienced players, because a lot of newbies can be like really good, like even people who are completely new to circles. So it doesn't really, it's not like if you're more experienced, you're better. So I guess a good cast just needs like people who really want to play the game, who are like interested in the game and are involved and like that. I don't
No,
know.
for sure. Because at the end of the day, what makes the game interesting for people to watch and get invested in is the engagement from the players themselves,
Yeah.
and like, yeah, being involved. Because it's beautiful when you see something together, like really.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's like that. Like, people who are involved, like if you're just gonna like be inactively like for 3 rounds, and or if you're just gonna step, like that does lower the quality of a cast. So I
No,
think it's great with like applications. You can like get a better sense of who really wants to play and who's going to put effort into the game.
no, for sure, for sure. I was going to ask, for someone, like, let's move along with the cycle. As for like, 'cause you're speaking to someone that hasn't really watched the circle at all, or C15 in specific. Who were you working with? What were you doing? What was your plan to get to the end game? Because you did get to the end game. You played great. So what was your mindset going through the rest of the cycle?
Well, I had a few allies, or at least people I wanted to have as allies. So it was really just like trying to keep them around, to keep them by my side, to work with them, and also to like try to not be targeted. So I think I did a fairly good job at managing that. I think I was only like targeted twice. So it was really for me that you know at like final 6, I knew I was gonna reach at least final 4, because like Break, Loda, Viridian, they're all like my friends, allies. So I think that really played a big part in in my game.
No, for sure. I think at the final five, somebody sent me like a list of like who would win when it came to the end game conditions, and you're at the top. I think at the five
Yeah,
it was you.
yeah.
Then
In a final 2 with anyone, I will have won technically.
yeah, no, that's sick. Because I had the same thing at C10, but I got cut just short. Um,
Oh.
at the final three, you're sitting there with Rec and Lola. What is the the situation? Put like an image in our minds. What happens? What do you think you could have done to win
Hmm.
the end?
I'm gonna talk actually first about the final 4, because I think like that was a really important round. It was when Viridian proposed the 4-way tie. But if that had happened like actually like that, then I would have won, just because of I was on the top. But I did vote for Viridian, so he went. And then final 3, I really wanted to bring Rec to Final 2. At that point, I really didn't really care if I won or lost. Like, I was pretty sure I would win, but I actually had like the conditions I thought were the conditions. I was wrong, but in my mind, I still won. So I don't know exactly why I chose him. I chose them, but I guess if I could play those 2 rounds differently, well, I would have just gone with the tie proposal in Final 4, or in Final 3. I guess I could have gone with Lola, or well, at the tie round when me and Lola tied, I knew Greg was gonna win, and like I didn't really like care at that point. I'm still like glad they won. They also play a great game, but I guess it would have been funny if we could have like a Cycle 14 2, you know, the final 3 of Cycle 14 with Soggy and Flaming. Maybe it would have been fun to have like a similar thing there.
Yeah, wait, you said you said Soggy and Flaming for C14.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I was watching that endgame. I mean, both endgames were no, the C14 endgame was kind of slacking, but this C15 one was one of the best, I feel like, and I really enjoyed it. Like,
yeah, I think like starting from Final 6 or Final 7, yeah, Final 6, like it was like so exciting, so you know, it was fun. Like since that Final 6 round, it was really like interesting for me to play as a player.
no, for sure. I think at the 5, Rec was on the bottom of the win conditions list. So if he didn't do that at the F3, he would have lost, which is crazy to me, dude. I like wrapping my head around that.
Yeah, it is crazy that like they won in the only possible way they could win, which was the abstain trick. So that's really great. Like they still managed to win even with them being at the bottom. So that's like crazy.
That's sick, honestly. Okay. We've recapped a bit of both cycles. So I wanted to ask, what has been like your favorite moment, or even your favorite like strategic move in the circle, that you're proud of, something you'd write home about, you know?
Hmm. It's hard to say. I'm trying to like think about important moments.
Mhm.
Well, in cycle 15, but I ended up not doing that. But I was gonna like throw Pios when she came up with this like whole alliance thing that she would protect everyone and whatnot. And I had wrote like a whole like big text. I actually never used it. I thought it was. I wanted to do it, but I realized that given the how that run had gone, it was best if I didn't do it. But apart from that, I don't really know. No, yeah, I don't know if I had like a one definite big move that you can say this is the moment he became DreamVoyager. Like I don't know.
Oh, game DreamVoyager, that's crazy. You're so the DreamVoyager in our hearts. Do you have like a like average placement of 4th? That's crazy.
It is crazy, I guess.
2 cycles. Okay, how about like some of your favorite people? Your favorite people you've played with, like what, 80, 70 about in these 2 cycles? Who are some of your favorites? You know, people you talk to outside of this game? Um,
Uh,
and your best relationships?
yeah. Well, I like mostly everyone in the circle. Like I don't know, Viridian, Lola, just well, Reg too. Like I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I find it like easy to just make connections with some people. Not everyone, but there's like a lot of people that I really bonded with in both cycles. So I think that's really neat.
For sure, for sure. Okay. Well, I got a sick question. Let's say let me paint an image in your mind. Um, there you're on a plane. You're on a plane with the cast, like both casts of 14 and 15, and you know the plane has a malfunction. It's experiencing some turbulence. Um, it's going down. It's going down pretty fast, and there's parachutes on this plane. However, there's not enough for everybody. There's one person that won't have a parachute, and you gotta decide who that's gonna be. So who are you picking to stay on that plane and not jump out with the rest of you guys?
Out of everyone in every cycle,
14 and 15, the ones you played.
okay. Can I choose Brandon, or is not like not allowed?
What?
Can I choose Brandon?
Yeah,
Be Brandon,
it's Brendan.
or is that like cheating?
You can choose Brendan. No, that's not cheating.
No, no, I'm joking. But yeah, I guess no, no, I don't know. Maybe some of the early boots, or yeah,
Whoa, you think just because they're bad at the circle they deserve to die? That's crazy, Dream. I'm
yeah.
not gonna. I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. That's
It,
that's pretty funny. I'm not gonna. That's funny. You know who I would kill?
cool.
There's this one dude in C14. He voted me out. Like it was solely him. Like just him. Him alone. So I don't think he would get a parachute.
No,
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 please.
no way. It was. I feel like I would kick him off the plane myself without a
No,
parachute. He would go. Okay.
no.
But I think that covers most bases. Man, what are we? Do you have any like thoughts you want to get out there while we're still on this interview? This call.
No, I don't know what else I can say. Just it's been really nice to this whole experience, this interview. Uh, I'm like really glad I got to like know like circles as a whole. For me, they have been like a really fun experience. So I'm really glad I could like find this whole like community. There are a lot of really cool people, really fun people that I'm really glad I met. So I'm just like really happy that I got to be here.
For sure. That's good. That's heartwarming to hear because I feel like I've had the same thing, man. I like joined this in cycle 10. I knew absolutely nobody, but I like joined this, and it's such a great place to be, man. I love these people.
Yeah, yeah, it's really fun. Like I started playing circles like I think 3 years ago, and it's still as fun as it was the first time. And I really enjoy them.
Damn, that's sick. That's always so nice to hear. Okay. Um, thank you for coming on. The man, the myth, the dream, the legend.
That's free. Well, thank you for hosting this interview.
We need an outro. We need to come up with an outro on the spot, Dream.
Yeah.
Do a
keep
song.
dreaming. No, I don't know.
Okay.
Go voyage those dreams.
Let's go.
And yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me clapping, but I'm clapping. Okay. Nice.